You are a man. It's time to embrace that truth not just in words, but in the way you live. Being a man isn't about how you dress, the job you hold, or the image you present to the world. It's not measured by wealth, social status, or the number of people who admire you. True masculinity runs deeper than all of that. It's about the foundation you build within yourself, the strength of your character, the discipline you uphold, and the integrity you refuse to compromise. Being a man means standing firm in your values, even when the world pushes against you. It's about making the hard choices, the ones that demand sacrifice, patience, and perseverance. A man does not wait for life to hand him direction. He carves his own path with unwavering purpose. At the core of manhood is responsibility. Responsibility is not just about providing for yourself or those who depend on you. It's about owning every aspect of your life. It's easy to look around and blame society, bad luck, or other people for where you are. But a man refuses to be a victim. He takes control of his circumstances, not by complaining, but by acting. He understands that no one is coming to save him. His future is in his own hands. Every decision he makes, every action he takes, either builds his foundation or weakens it. There is no middle ground. A man who dodges responsibility is not free. He is a prisoner of his own excuses. Real men confront their failures without hesitation. They do not hide from their mistakes, nor do they let shame paralyze them. Instead, they use failure as a teacher. Every setback, every misstep, is an opportunity to grow stronger, sharper, and wiser. The difference between a man who thrives and a man who crumbles is the ability to face hardship head-on. Challenges will come. This is inevitable. But how you respond to them determines whether you will rise or remain stagnant. A man who is willing to learn from his failures becomes unstoppable. He does not seek perfection, but progress. Owning your life means recognizing that every choice you make has consequences. The sooner you accept this, the sooner you take real control. A man does not drift through life hoping things will get better. He takes action. He sets a course, adjusts when necessary, and refuses to be swayed by temporary discomfort. Strength is built through discipline, through making the right decisions even when they are the hardest to make. If you want to live with pride, if you want to look in the mirror and respect the man staring back at you, then take full ownership of who you are and who you will become. No more excuses, no more waiting. It starts now. No one owes you anything. Not society, not your family, not your closest friends. The reality is simple. Your life is your responsibility. Every success you achieve, every setback you endure, every opportunity you capitalize on it, all comes down to the choices you make and the effort you put in. The job you hold, the home you live in, the food you eat, these are not gifts handed to you. They are the direct result of your actions. So ask yourself honestly, are you ready to own your life? Do you wake up each morning prepared to face whatever challenges come your way? Or do you waste time justifying why things aren't going as planned? A man does not sit around hoping for a better hand. He plays the one he's been dealt with precision, strategy, and unwavering resolve. Excuses are the currency of the weak. They are the shackles that keep men from reaching their full potential. A man who lives by excuses will always find himself at the mercy of circumstances, drifting without direction, blaming the world for his failures. But a man of action? He refuses to be controlled by obstacles. He takes the punches, learns from his failures, and moves forward with even greater determination. Life will test you. This is inevitable. There will be hardship, rejection, and days when it feels like the world is working against you. But the question is not whether life will challenge you. The question is whether you will rise despite those challenges. A man stands up. A man fights through. A man does not surrender to self-pity. True masculinity is defined by the ability to make tough decisions when others hesitate. It's about doing what's necessary, even when it's uncomfortable. There will be moments when people doubt you, when they try to tear you down, when they question your resolve. But strength is found in persistence. A man does not waver in the face of resistance. He stands firm. He does what is right, not because it is easy, but because it aligns with his principles. The world is filled with people looking for shortcuts, people who crave success without sacrifice, But a real man understands that nothing worthwhile comes without struggle. Strength is forged in adversity, and character is revealed in how you respond to it. We live in an era where blaming others has become the norm. People point fingers at the government, the economy, their upbringing, or sheer bad luck. They seek comfort in victimhood, hoping someone else will fix their problems. But a man, a true man, does not engage in this game. He does not waste his energy on complaints. He focuses on solutions. He recognizes that his fate is in his own hands. When he looks in the mirror, he does not see someone waiting for a break. See someone willing to fight for the life he wants. That is what separates men from boys. That is what defines a man who refuses to be defeated. Accountability is one of the most powerful forces a man can embrace. It shifts you from being a passive observer of your life to the one actively shaping it. When you stop blaming external factors, your upbringing, your environment, your past mistakes, and instead accept full responsibility for where you stand, everything changes. You gain control. You realize that your thoughts, your work ethic, and the way you treat others are all within your power. Accountability forces you to confront the consequences of your choices, both good and bad. It demands that you own every decision and learn from every misstep. A man who refuses to make excuses is a man who has the ability to grow, to improve, and to lead. If you want to be a man, it starts with complete ownership of your failures, your successes, your words, and your actions. Stop shifting blame. If you make a mistake, acknowledge it. If you achieve something, stand tall and take pride in it. If you're struggling, don't withdraw into self-pity. Seek solutions, seek guidance, and then take action. But understand this: the responsibility to get back on track is yours alone. No one is coming to save you. No one is going to hand you the life you want. That realization is not a burden, it's a gift. It means that everything you need to build the life you desire is already within your grasp. The only question is whether you have the discipline and the will to claim it. A man who embraces accountability becomes unshakable. In a world where people are quick to dodge responsibility, to deflect blame, and to make excuses, standing firm in ownership of your actions sets you apart. It shows that you are someone who can be counted on, someone who doesn't run when things get hard. This applies to every area of your life: your career, your relationships, your personal growth. People respect a man who is willing to say, "I was wrong, and I will do better." They trust a man who takes initiative instead of waiting for someone else to solve his problems. If you want to earn the respect of others, start by earning your own. Live in a way that demands it. Being a man also means understanding sacrifice. Success, growth, and achievement all come with a cost. There is no progress without sacrifice, whether it's your time, your comfort, or even your ego. The men who build something meaningful in this world are the ones willing to pay the price. Maybe it's sacrificing sleep to work on your craft, sacrificing short-term pleasure for long-term success, or sacrificing relationships that hold you back. Whatever your goals are, understand this: nothing great is built without sacrifice. Weak men seek the easy road. Strong men understand that the road to greatness is paved with discipline, hardship, and relentless effort. The only question that remains is whether you are willing to make the necessary sacrifices to become the man you were meant to be. Too many men chase shortcuts, hoping to find an easy way to success. They look for quick wins, schemes that promise wealth without effort, and paths that require no struggle. But a man who truly understands what it means to build a life of value knows that success is never handed out freely. It is earned through sacrifice. The real question isn't what you want to achieve. It's what you're willing to give up to get there. Are you ready to trade comfort for discipline? Will you sacrifice your free time to sharpen your skills? Can you set aside your ego and take a small, unglamorous step forward, knowing that greatness is built from humble beginnings? Sacrifice is the currency of growth, yet many fear it. They hesitate to leave behind what is familiar, unwilling to endure discomfort in the name of progress. But the truth is, every man is defined not by what he gains, but by what he is willing to surrender for something greater. There will be nights when exhaustion weighs on you, mornings when doubt whispers in your ear, and moments when the sacrifices seem too great. But it is in these moments that true strength is revealed. Success isn't about how much you can take, it's about how much you are willing to give up in pursuit of something meaningful. Look at the men who have built something extraordinary. They did not get there by clinging to comfort or avoiding hard choices. They let go of distractions, walked away from fleeting pleasures, and committed themselves to a path that most would not dare to follow. It's not just about working hard. It's about being willing to make the sacrifices that others refuse to make. The men who rise to the top are those who are willing to pay the price that success demands. If you refuse to sacrifice, you will remain where you are. The difference between those who achieve and those who remain stagnant is not just talent or intelligence, it is the willingness to endure, to struggle, and to give up what is easy for what is right. The road to success is not paved with convenience. It is built on the foundation of every sacrifice you are willing to make. The question is, how far are you willing to go? What's the greatest challenge standing in your way right now? What obstacle feels too big to conquer? Whatever it is, do not retreat. Do not let fear convince you to back down. Every difficulty you encounter is an invitation to grow, to become stronger than you were yesterday. Hardship does not break men, it forges them. The next time life knocks you down, resist the urge to ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, shift your mindset and ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" The trials you face are not punishments. They are lessons. They force you to reach deeper, to uncover strength you never knew existed. Adversity is the greatest mentor you will ever have. It strips away illusions, exposes your weaknesses, and pushes you beyond your limits. But in doing so, it teaches resilience, discipline, and mental fortitude. The struggles you overcome today prepare you for the greater battles of tomorrow. Each hardship refines you, sharpening your focus, strengthening your will, and proving to you that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. The pain you endure today will become the wisdom that guides you in the future. You don't rise despite adversity, you rise because of it. At the core of every great man is unshakable character. You can accumulate wealth, achieve status, and gain influence, but if your character is weak, none of it will last. A man's true strength is not found in his possessions, but in his principles. When the world tests you, it's not your achievements that will hold you together, it's your integrity. A man of character honors his word, keeps his commitments, and does what is right even when no one is watching. Strength is not just about enduring hardship, it's about standing firm in your values, no matter how tempting it is to stray. Character is not built in a single moment. It is forged in the small, unseen decisions you make every day. It's reflected in how you treat others, how you handle pressure, and how you act when there are no eyes on you. The more you commit to developing your character, the stronger and more unshakable it becomes. Success may open doors, but only character will keep you standing when life tries to knock you down. If you want to be unbreakable, start by strengthening the one thing no one can take from you, your character. Be a man of unwavering integrity. Stand firm in your principles, and let your actions reflect the kind of person you strive to become. A man who stays true to his values never has to second-guess himself. He moves through life with confidence, knowing that his word and his actions are aligned. When your character is strong, everything else falls into place. People will respect you, they will trust you, and above all, you will respect yourself. True strength is not found in power or wealth. It is found in a man's ability to remain honest, disciplined, and true to his morals, even when no one is watching. A real man does not wait for permission to act. He does not stand idly by, waiting for someone else to take the lead. He steps forward, leads by example, and takes responsibility for his life. Leadership is not about empty words or commanding others, it is about action. If you want to be a leader, you must first become the kind of person others can look up to. Leadership is not about demanding respect. It is about earning it through discipline, commitment, and selflessness. A leader does the work, embraces the struggle, and sets the standard for those around him. True leadership is rooted in humility. It is not about control, power, or recognition. It is about service. A real leader lifts others up, not for personal gain, but because he understands that true success is not measured by how far he rises alone, but by how many people he helps along the way. Leadership is about inspiring others to reach their highest potential. It is about showing them, through your actions, that greatness is possible. A man who leads with integrity and strength doesn't just command respect, he earns loyalty, trust, and admiration. The world needs more men who are willing to stand up and lead not with words, but with unwavering principles and relentless action. You don't need a title to be a leader. You need courage, strength, and the willingness to do what is right, especially when it is difficult. When you lead, you give others the courage to lead as well. That is the true essence of manhood, not dominance, but the ability to uplift, empower, and create lasting change. When you live with integrity, inspire others, and lead by example, you don't just make an impact, you build a legacy that endures. A man is often expected to be the unshakable force in the midst of chaos, the one who remains steady when everything around him is falling apart. But what does true emotional strength really mean? It is not about becoming numb or suppressing feelings, it is about mastering them. Strength is found not in ignoring emotions, but in understanding and channeling them in a way that allows for clarity, purpose, and decisive action. Too often, men are conditioned to believe that showing emotion is a weakness. From a young age, they are told to man up, to toughen up, and to never show vulnerability. But the truth is, emotions are not a flaw. They are a fundamental part of what makes a man complete. The true test of emotional strength is not in suppression, but in control. A man who is in command of his emotions does not allow anger to dictate his actions, nor does he let fear hold him back from making necessary choices. He does not react impulsively. He responds with intention. Life will challenge you with moments of frustration, doubt, and uncertainty, but your ability to navigate those emotions with discipline is what sets you apart. The strongest men are not those who feel nothing, but those who feel deeply and still remain in control. Mastering emotional strength means learning how to process emotions rather than being controlled by them. When confronted with conflict, a weak man lashes out, while a strong man evaluates the situation, chooses his response wisely, and acts with purpose. He understands that restraint is not a lack of power, but the highest form of it. He does not allow temporary emotions to cause permanent damage. Instead, he transforms those emotions into fuel, anger into drive, fear into preparation, and pain into wisdom. Being emotionally strong does not mean detachment. It means awareness. It means recognizing your emotions, understanding their root, and making the conscious choice to direct them towards something meaningful. A man who has mastered his emotions knows when to walk away, when to stand firm, and when to take a breath before speaking. He does not allow his emotions to control him, but neither does he deny them. He wields them like a sharpened blade, precise, disciplined, and powerful. That is the essence of true emotional strength. Fear is an unavoidable part of life. Every man encounters it, whether it's the fear of failure, rejection, or stepping into the unknown. But a man is not measured by the fear he feels. He is measured by how he responds to it. Fear has the power to hold people back, to paralyze them in moments that demand action. It whispers doubts, convincing you that you're not capable, not ready, not strong enough. But here's the truth: fear is nothing more than a deception. It does not know your strength. It does not see your potential. And the moment you confront it, you strip it of its control over you. A real man does not flee from fear. He moves toward it with courage. He understands that fear is not an enemy, but a test, a challenge meant to reveal what he is truly made of. The greatest men in history did not achieve success because they were fearless. They felt fear, just like you do, but they refused to let it dictate their actions. They turned fear into fuel, using it as a force that propelled them forward instead of allowing it to become a barrier that held them back. The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stagnant is simple. One faces fear, the other surrenders to it. Think about the last time you hesitated, the last time fear held you in place when you should have taken action. What stopped you? Was it the fear of failing? The fear of judgment? Whatever it was, understand that fear only has power if you give it permission to control you. You always have a choice to submit to fear or to stand against it. And every time you choose to face it, you become stronger. You build the resilience necessary to overcome even greater challenges. Conquering fear is not a single act. It is a lifelong practice, a mindset that separates those who lead from those who follow. True leadership is born in moments of fear. It is not about pretending to be fearless, but about pushing forward despite fear. Leadership is not about demanding obedience or taking credit for success. It is about guiding others, leading by example, and proving through action that fear can be conquered. When you master your own fear, you inspire those around you to do the same. And that is what sets great men apart. They do not allow fear to shape them. They shape themselves in defiance of fear. True leadership is not about dominance, it is about service. The strongest men are not those who demand power, but those who inspire and uplift those around them. The world is in desperate need of real leadersmen who are willing to stand firm in their values, take responsibility, and set the standard through action. You don't need a title to lead. You don't need permission. What you need is integrity, resilience, and the courage to do what is right, even when it is difficult. A leader is not defined by how many people follow him, but by how many he empowers to lead themselves. That is the true mark of strength, not control, but influence. A real man does not just hold himself together in times of chaos, becomes the anchor that steadies those around him. But this does not mean he is emotionless or unaffected. True emotional strength is not about suppressing feelings, but about mastering them. Society teaches men to hide their emotions, to view vulnerability as weakness, but this is a lie. Emotions are not a flaw, they are a tool. A man who understands his emotions, rather than being controlled by them, is a man who can navigate life with clarity, wisdom, and purpose. The true test of a man is not in how well he conceals his emotions, but in how he channels them into productive action. Weakness is not found in feeling deeply, it is found in allowing those feelings to dictate your actions without control. A man who has mastered himself knows when to be still, when to push forward, and when to walk away. He does not lash out in anger or freeze in fear. He acknowledges his emotions, processes them, and then makes decisions rooted in logic and principle. That is what separates a man of strength from one who is ruled by impulse. When you cultivate both leadership and emotional mastery, you build something greater than success. You build a legacy. A man who leads with wisdom and carries himself with discipline becomes a force that others gravitate toward. He is respected not because he demands it, but because he earns it through his actions. And in lifting others up, he ensures that his impact will last far beyond his own lifetime. That is the true power of manhood, not just strength, but the ability to use it in service of something greater. True emotional strength lies not in suppressing feelings, but in mastering them. A man who has control over his emotions does not react impulsively. He responds with purpose. He remains composed under pressure, making decisions with clarity rather than being consumed by frustration, fear, or doubt. He does not allow anger to cloud his judgment or uncertainty to freeze him in place. Instead, he acknowledges what he feels, processes it with intention, and channels it into action that aligns with his goals. Strength is not found in detachment or numbness, but in the ability to navigate emotions with discipline and wisdom. A man who understands his emotions wields them as tools rather than being controlled by them. He knows when to stand firm and when to walk away. He can face conflict with a steady mind, breathe through stress, and transform his emotions into fuel for progress. Emotional mastery is not about avoiding feelings, it is about taking full responsibility for them. The man who controls himself controls his destiny, while the man who is ruled by his emotions is at the mercy of circumstances. Self-mastery is what separates those who lead from those who follow. Fear is an unavoidable force in every man's life. Whether it is the fear of failure, rejection, or the unknown, it is a presence that cannot be ignored. But a man is not defined by the fear he feels. She is defined by what he does in the face of it. Fear is a liar. It whispers doubts, telling you that you are not strong enough, not capable enough, not worthy enough. But fear does not know you. It does not see the strength within you, the potential waiting to be realized. The moment you challenge fear, you take away its power. A man confronts his fear, not because he is fearless, but because he refuses to let fear control his life. He steps forward when others hesitate. He embraces discomfort, knowing that growth lies beyond it. Every great man has felt fear, but what separates them from the rest is their decision to move forward despite it. When you face fear head-on, you don't just overcome obstacles, you redefine what is possible. That is the essence of true strength, not the absence of fear, but the courage to rise above it. A man does not run from fear, he meets it head-on. He understands that fear is not a signal to retreat, but a challenge to overcome. Every man who has ever accomplished something meaningful has felt fear. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not the presence or absence of fear, but how they respond to it. Fear can either be a prison that keeps you stagnant or a fire that fuels your determination. The men who rise above it are the ones who refuse to be controlled by doubt. They turn fear into energy, into motivation, into relentless forward motion. Think back to a time when fear held you back. What stopped you? Was it the fear of failure? The fear of embarrassment? The fear of the unknown? Whatever it was, understand this. Fear is only as powerful as the control you give it. You always have a choice to let fear dictate your actions or to step forward despite it. And with every step you take in defiance of fear, you grow. Strength is not the absence of fear. It is the refusal to be ruled by it. You are not weak because you feel fear. You are only weak if you allow it to stop you. Courage is not about reckless confidence. It is about trust in yourself. It is the belief that, no matter what challenges come your way, you will find a way through them. The unknown will always be there, waiting, unpredictable, and intimidating. But the mark of a man is his willingness to walk into it regardless, knowing that no obstacle is greater than his ability to adapt and overcome. This mindset is what separates those who wait for permission from those who take action and create their own path. To be a man is to cultivate independency, not isolation, but self-sufficiency. This does not mean rejecting help or shutting people out. It means that your worth, your direction, and your happiness are not dictated by the opinions or validation of others. A man stands firm in his values, makes decisions based on principle rather than popularity, and carries the weight of his own life with confidence. Independence is not about being alone, it is about knowing that, no matter what happens, you are capable of standing on your own. True independence comes from within. Being truly independent means taking full ownership of your life. It means refusing to wait for external approval before chasing your goals, refusing to let others dictate your path, and refusing to let fear of judgment hold you back. Independence is not about rebellion. It is about responsibility. It is understanding that every choice you make shapes your future, and that no one else will walk the road for you. The moment you stop seeking validation from others is the moment you begin to reclaim control over your own destiny. Many people confuse independence with isolation, but the two are worlds apart. Independence is not about cutting yourself off from people. It is about ensuring that your happiness, success, and well-being are not dependent on them. You should be able to stand strong on your own, not because you reject others, but because you have built a foundation within yourself that cannot be shaken by external forces. When you cultivate true self-sufficiency, relationships become a choice, not a necessity. You connect with others out of mutual respect and shared values, rather than a desperate need for validation. One of the greatest challenges of independence is learning to be content with your own company. Society often teaches us to seek fulfillment in others through friendships, relationships, or social status. But true contentment is an inside job. You must fill your own cup before expecting anyone else to add to it. This means discovering what fuels your passion, sharpening your skills, and fostering a mindset that thrives in solitude as much as in companionship. The more secure you become in yourself, the less power external opinions will have over your self-worth. At the heart of independence is resilience, the ability to take hits and keep moving forward. No path is free from obstacles, and setbacks are inevitable. But the independent individual does not crumble under adversity. Instead, they see failure as a lesson, hardship as a test, and rejection as redirection. They understand that the only way to grow is to keep pushing forward, regardless of how many times they stumble. When you embrace this mindset, you transform from someone who merely reacts to life into someone who actively shapes it. Respect begins within and extends outward. Respect is not about demanding obedience or instilling fear. It is about understanding, listening, and treating others with dignity, even when opinions clash. True respect requires the ability to hear someone out without immediately dismissing their viewpoint, even when you strongly disagree. It means recognizing that every person carries their own experiences, beliefs, and struggles, and that these shape the way they see the world. A man who is respected does not seek approval through empty words or posturing. He earns it through the consistency of his actions, through the way he carries himself, and through the way he treats those around him. However, respect is not something you can truly give to others until you first cultivate it within yourself. If you lack self-respect, how can you expect others to see value in you? Self-respect is about setting standards for how you allow yourself to be treated, about refusing to compromise on your principles, and about walking away from situations that undermine your dignity. A man who respects himself does not seek validation in the wrong places. He does not tolerate disrespect, and he does not betray his values for temporary acceptance. When you hold yourself to a high standard, the world responds in kind. A man who genuinely respects others knows how to navigate difficult conversations without resorting to aggression or defensiveness. He understands that strength is not in overpowering others but in demonstrating patience, empathy, and wisdom. Disagreement does not have to breed hostility, and criticism does not have to be an attack. A man of true character can stand firm in his beliefs while still treating others with decency. He helps not because he seeks recognition, but because he knows that respect is built through selflessness, integrity, and the willingness to lift others up rather than tear them down. Above all, respect is a lifelong pursuit. It is not something that is achieved once and then forgotten. It is a daily practice, woven into the fabric of how you live. A man who ceases to grow, to challenge himself, and to seek knowledge slowly fades from the man he was meant to be. Growth and learning are not optional. They are essential. To be a man of respect is to commit to continuous improvement, to constantly refine your mind, your skills, and your character. The moment you stop striving for better is the moment you stop leading by example. The relentless pursuit of self-improvement. Growth is impossible without humility. A man who believes he has nothing left to learn has already begun to stagnate. True self-improvement comes from recognizing that no matter how much knowledge you acquire, there will always be more to discover, more to refine, and more to master. This journey demands a willingness to step beyond the familiar, to challenge preconceived notions, and to embrace discomfort. It requires seeking wisdom from those who have walked the path before you, whether through books, mentors, or personal experience. The mark of a strong man is not his ability to prove he is always right, but his willingness to acknowledge where he can be better. However, growth is not just about accumulating knowledge or honing skill set. It is about developing the qualities that define a better man. Intelligence without wisdom is useless. Strength without discipline is dangerous. Success without integrity is hollow. The real measure of self-improvement is in the character you build along the way. Are you becoming more patient, more resilient, more compassionate? Are you disciplined enough to stick to your principles even when it is inconvenient? Self-improvement is a lifelong commitment, not a temporary effort. It is a daily decision to be just a little bit better than the person you were yesterday. The ultimate question every man must ask himself is, what will I leave behind? True fulfillment is not found in personal gain alone, but in the impact you make on others. Your legacy is not written in the wealth you accumulate or the accolades you receive, but in the lives you touch, the wisdom you share, and the strength you pass on. A man who only lives for himself leaves nothing of real value behind, but a man who uplifts others, who inspires, who leads by example. His influence echoes far beyond his own lifetime. Legacy is not an afterthought. It is built in every choice you make. The way you treat people, the principles you uphold, and the values you instill in others will shape how you are remembered. Did you live with purpose? Did you leave people better than you found them? Did you stand for something greater than yourself? When the final chapter of your life is written, your legacy will not be defined by what you had, but by who you were. And that is what will truly endure. The legacy of a man is built every day. A man of true substance does not live for the fleeting rewards of the present, considers the ripple effect of his actions on the future. He understands that every decision he makes, every principle he upholds, and every sacrifice he endures is part of a greater blueprint. Whether he is raising a family, building a career, mentoring others, or giving back to his community, his focus is not just on personal gain but on the lasting mark he will leave behind. The world is shaped by the choices of men who think beyond themselves, who recognize that their legacy is built in the small, daily acts of integrity, perseverance, and leadership. The question every man must confront is, how will I be remembered? Will people speak of my strength not just in physicality but in character? Will they remember my unwavering commitment to my principles, my courage to do what is right even when it was difficult, or my kindness that lifted others in their darkest moments? True impact is not measured in wealth, status, or accolades. It is measured in the lives you touch, the example you set, and the way you inspire those who come after you. Legacy is not created in a single moment. It is forged in the quiet, consistent decisions of everyday life. Manhood is not a title given. It is a journey undertaken. It is a path of responsibility, discipline, and constant evolution. It requires making the tough choices, choosing growth over comfort, and standing firm in the face of adversity. A man does not seek the easy road. He embraces the challenges that refine him, knowing that strength is not found in avoiding struggle, but in overcoming it. He leads not with words, but with actions, setting a standard that others aspire to follow. He does not drift through life waiting for purpose to find him. He carves his own path with intention and resolve. The truth is simple. You are the sole architect of your story. No one else defines who you are or limits what you can become. Every moment is an opportunity to shape your future, to build the life you desire, and to stand as a pillar of strength in a world that desperately needs it. The world does not need more men who seek comfort, who wait for permission, or who play small. It needs men who are willing to rise, who will walk forward with courage, build with conviction, and leave behind something greater than themselves. That journey begins now. Step forward, take ownership, and never look back.